Hey everybody, today looking at a gearhead bow. I'm going to show you how you can use our side stabilizer mount to add a side stabilizer to a gearhead. Now gearhead does offer an adapter that allows you to put a side stabilizer in place. However, it does not offer the same amount of adjustability and ease of use that the product we manufacture does. So I'm going to show you how to take this product we sell and use it to accomplish this on a gearhead. Now it's a T18 here. This is the only gearhead I have. As you can see, of course, too, that it is more or less broken down. I have the cable guard and the string stop off. No RRS or anything on here. It's not currently in use, but it's great as an example of what can be done. So let's start with the first step you'll need to take, and that would be removal of one of these set screws. So on either side of their caged riser design, they have on the lower portion here, just past where traditionally you would have like a limb pocket, they have two set screws on either side. You're going to remove one of these. Doesn't cause any kind of problem with structural integrity. Nothing's going to move or shift while you do this. I've done this already a number of times, so I know it is a very effective way to basically to accomplish what we're looking to do here. And of course the screw is going to go back into place as well. It's not like you're going to leave this out. So I do use, as you can see here, socket wrench. It's got a this is not a 332. This is actually a, what is this one? This is a 1/8. Got a 1/8 drive Allen head, hex head bit on there. The wrench itself is a 1/4 drive. And what we're going to do here is now move the bracket. So this is the riser bracket that you receive with our product. These are, of course, used pieces. You can see I've used them quite heavily over the years for various things. So what we're going to do first is take the screw, and it's going to be put inside of this bracket. But if you look close here, I'll bring it in so you can see it. The bracket, again, marred up and such, but the bracket has a channeled out portion here. And the screw that we took out is relatively small. The screw head is not that big. So while it wouldn't slip through this channel, it's not really going to have enough surface area grabbing to suit what we're looking for the amount of torque that'll be applied to it, the amount of pressure that it'll have. So basically what we need is a type of washer, but instead of using a washer, we're going to use a jam nut that we have a lot of on hand. So this is one of the half size, half height really, jam nuts. It's a 5/16 24 thread, but of course the thread's irrelevant. It's loose on this small screw. But that allows us to have a really nicely fitting piece, I'll show you here, inside of that bracket, inside that channel. And still allows plenty of screw sticking out to attach. So let's go here now, switch back to tightening on our socket wrench and put this into place, and I'll show you then what we'll want to do with setting up the angle options that you have. So we got the piece tightened in, but not to the point where it's going to stay at one location. And here's where you'll have a big shift from how we typically would use our side stabilizer mount. So ordinarily the next piece that would come along would be this middle module. But you're not going to need that. You're just going to use this next section here that goes below the middle module. This is the quick disconnect module. This will attach directly to the riser bracket. So let's grab our screws here. You have your 5/8 inch length, 5/16 24. These are a 3/16 Allen key drive, hex head. So I tighten by hand to start with, usually just using a T-handle, just so I can get everything set up in place. And now you can start to see already, you should be able to start to see here what we're driving at. So you have your horizontal adjustability right here, and then you can do your vertical type of adjustments here. You also have some degree of motion here, up and down, because the bracket has that degree of play built into it. What I think you're going to want to do to keep your stabilizer, if you're trying to get your stabilizer more in line with where the limb height is, then you'll want to move the bracket up. So we'll start there. We'll move the bracket position to its bottomed out here, where that nut is actually bottomed out on the edge of the bracket channel. And then I can just kind of eyeball, well, what's the angle of the stabilizer going to be coming back here? This is a part you'll probably want to do with a stabilizer handy, so you can quickly put it in, look at it, and say, okay, where am I going to want to start my vertical height on this? Because that's all dictated by the rotation on the bracket. If you had the third piece in the middle module that we include with this product, then the adjustment for vertical positioning would be a little different. So what I typically try to do, and what I often tell people, is you want your weight stack to be very close to, in some cases below, even your axle. Have it down here near your lower cam. So that's what I'll do. I'll put it just a bit below where the axle is. And let's get this nut tightened down. You can apply a tremendous amount of pressure, torque with this wrench, and there will be no concerns about this coming loose. Trust me, that thing is incredibly tight right there. And of course, if you were going to use this on a long-term basis, you may want to add some type of thread locking material, semi-permanent, on there. That would be up to you. However, if tightened properly with tools like this, that becomes somewhat irrelevant, a lot less necessary. So now you're left with looking at your horizontal adjustment for your stabilizer. And that'll be determined, ultimately, the final position, by shooting and by looking at the results you get. But let's say, I know where I usually want to see these on most bows. So I would just sort of lock it down right there with the T-handle on that bottom screw we put in. And then I would switch my 1/8 bit to a 3/16 and tighten the rest of the way down. Okay, it's pretty tight. And there I would then begin to start to, essentially I would start to shoot. And I would find out what I'm getting. So I'll take this off of the mount I have here, tap exclusive mount we use, and show you what we've accomplished on this gearhead. See? So you have a sidebar, really nice, slick location, very low profile. Doesn't jut out that much to the side, and it does give you this side stability benefit. You can put it down if it's not something you use. You can say it's not necessary. Maybe maybe even on a gearhead you feel like the design of the bow negates the need for that. Be that as it may, some people still want this, and I've shot this bow with and without, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, the side stabilizer makes a substantial difference in how the bow holds, getting on target and then through the shot itself. So I would, if I were shooting gearhead, I would absolutely be seriously considering, do I want and or need to have a side stabilizer in place? So if you have questions about how to do this, or if you if you already have the product and it wasn't clear through this video, reach out to us, sam@titaniumarcheryproducts.com. You can also call us Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 717-885-9636. So I think it's relatively clear, though. I think this makes sense probably to most people, that that how to do it. It's pretty easy. You're just dropping off that one module there, and by buying the product you do get all these components, so that if you ever take it off this bow and go to another bow, it has a traditional rear mounted situation, then you have all the pieces you need. titaniumarcheryproducts.com. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for your time. Stay tapped out.